What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out Beast Mode Math. Today we're going to be looking at Schoology lessons designed around student accountability. These are going to be daily lessons on Schoology that can be used to educate and engage students while holding them accountable for their actions and their work. Distance learning can be tough because parents are often not able to closely monitor students, teachers are often not able to closely monitor students, and also their peers. They aren't often monitoring each other. And we can use Schoology to help our students feel and be held accountable, which can promote autonomous motivation. So in the next couple minutes, we're going to see a lesson and the design of which that can help with all these problems.
All right, hopping into Schoology. The first thing I like to do when creating a Schoology lesson is to consider making an overview for students. So when they open the day's lesson, they will have an overview that will just outline everything that will take place in that lesson. This will include a Zoom session. I often like to give my students sort of like a study hall or a flex period. So I make a link, a clickable link for them. And this is good for a couple reasons. One is you don't have to worry about providing a password for your students, as well as you don't have to worry about students having direct access to the Zoom URL. And this will save a lot of time and a lot of headaches because that's how Zoom sessions kind of get taken over by outside sources. So by highlighting a text and then going up to the insert, and what I'm going to do is insert a link here, and I'm just going to paste my Zoom session link, and that way when students click on this, they will be able to jump right into the Zoom session and won't have any access to the administrative overlays. Next, I'm going to create a do now, and I like to have some sort of an opening activity. These do nows, you can really get creative, but here for accountability, I will use a test quiz. I find test quiz, just the template for these are the most accountable. I'm going to do ungraded because right now we don't have access to our grade book, but you can use any one of your grade categories. So here I'm just going to be adding a question. I like to use fill in the blank, multiple choice, matching are really good. Short answers have to be hand graded, but for the ease of access of just kind of having students jump into stuff, multiple choice is a great way. And you will also see me here, I'm just, make a very simple warm-up activity. This isn't math related, I am a math teacher. I'm just introducing some of the vocab. And so here I have elevation and depression, and let's just match what they mean. Students also have access to Google. They could quickly Google these things. I'm also putting in here just some decoy answers that will show up as well. So that way when students see the material, you can see that they have to choose from one of the 4 options I gave them. All right, so coming back out into the main folder, I'm going to add another test quiz template. This is where I'm going to house my video lesson and my classwork. I like to make these out as many points as how many questions I'm going to have, and in this one I chose to have 4 questions, so I'm going to make it 4 points. And again, I'm doing ungraded because right now we don't have access to our gradebook in my district. So I'm going to go ahead and create this, and the first question I'm going to add will actually be a text file. And the reason I'm choosing text is because in the text we will have access to embedding videos. So here's my YouTube channel, and I'm just going to go ahead and embed my video lesson for the day. So I go over to embed, I'm hitting copy, and once I have that link, I'm going to go back to my Schoology folder, and I'm going to go to insert content, insert image media, go over to from the web, and do media. And notice how it changed to embed. So that's going to be my embed link. You could also embed any media that you have on your desktop. Just go to insert media and do it upload file. But that way, as you see here, that the first question that comes up is now a text file, and it's an embedded video. And so from here, I'm going to create a multiple choice question, and so here's just the PDF file that I'm working off of, and what I'm doing is I'm just going to screenshot, just get a snippet, and then insert that snippet. So there's my directions, and then again, upload media, as I was saying earlier, and I'm just going to choose my screenshot and import the image. And now, just like they would see in their note packet or in their guided notes, or even if I was giving a overhead presentation, this is directly from their notes, directly from the textbook, directly from the material that I'm working off of. And you can see that once these things are put in, once all my questions are put in, that they will show up under the video material. And so students will be able to see the video and see the questions ahead of time. So they'll have a way to kind of see what's going to come. So here I'm just using the text editor. For math, it's really nice. We have all these symbols. And then I'm just going through and finishing up my multiple choice questions here. These are sine, cosine, tangent. So these answers that I'm putting in all correspond to sine, cosine, tangent, and so I know exactly what students did wrong just by what they did. And here you see that here this is the way that this will appear to them. Let's see. So it's going to be important that these are enabled, otherwise students won't be able to have it. I like to do unlimited attempts because this is just classwork. They can just see what happens, and they can go back and give them a chance for mastery. Make sure that the randomized order, it might sound nice, and for some assignments it will be helpful, but because my text file is the first one I want to show up, if I randomize the order, then it won't be first. Always make your questions resumable and reviewable, and view submission. So depending on your type of assignment, you may want to show them the answers, but for me, since I'm going with mastery, I don't want to show them the answers. That way they can have a chance to do it again. And so here's what the assignment will look like. The video is playing just right up top, and notice I have access to all of those questions. And then finally, what I'm going to do is create a discussion and make an exit question. I find that the discussion is very helpful for students because you can kind of make it what you want it to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be about your content. It can be a place for students to kind of unwind and just say their own opinions. So here, again, I'm doing ungraded. If you do graded, if you enable grading, then you will have to go through and you can grade these on a rubric, or you can go through and simply enter the value. But I'm doing ungraded just because I just kind of want this to be more of a organic conversation. And so we are doing all of this because we want students to feel engaged, right? And so one thing that's going to always be helpful is to have another folder that has extra help in it. So here I'm taking one of my old videos or one of the past lessons, and instead of students having to go back and look to the other days to find the past lessons, I'm just embedding the past lesson into that folder. So my extra help is usually the day before's lesson, and that way students can have a chance to go back. And so this is what I mean about student accountability. So here is a student from my second period. This was just today's work, and this student logged on for 17 seconds when there was a 12-minute video and got a score of 1 out of 3. So this student, while it looked like they were engaged out on the surface, it definitely wasn't. Here's another student from my third period who, again, logged on for 31 seconds and got a 1 out of 4. So a student who looked like they were struggling really just wasn't even trying. And again, another student here, 35 seconds, they got a 0 out of 4. And so this is a great way to hold students accountable for their work because you have all of this data.
So I actually had another student just recently complete an assignment and get a 3 out of 4. And when I looked at their details, I saw they spent 1 minute and 15 seconds and they had 3 attempts. And so somehow they went through 4 questions in 1 minute and about 15 seconds and just guessed rapidly until they had an acceptable amount, just so they could kind of blend in. And again, I'm not saying it's mandatory, but we know that once we have this data and we can say to students, hello, I don't want to single you out here, but I can't give you credit for something where you didn't actually participate in. And once they know that they have that level of accountability, then you get that autonomous motivation. You get that motivation that says, okay, I need to do this much in order to get this grade. And while it might not be our most desired form of motivation, it is a form of motivation, and it's a great place to start. So hopefully you found this lesson example to be beneficial. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, hit the bell. Thank you for watching.